A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy, 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Here's a little secret with what I do at the Rod Peterson Show, and I've made a career of it. I don't care whether you like me or you don't like me, but when you watch my show, I just want you to feel something.
How about that?
Whether you're happy or you're sad or you're angry or you're proud, I just want you to feel something. Because a lot of times you'll read a column or watch a show and it's, That's never been the hallmark of what I do. I want to make you think, I want to make you feel something, and it's worked. And if you don't agree with me, I'll be fine.
This is the Rod Peterson Show.
True story. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody, for a Thursday, March the 18th, 2021. We're coming to you live from the bunker in Western Canada. I'm Rod. He is Moose DuPont, and we are going live. How's your Thursday so far, Moose?
It's great.
I was a little worried about you.
Scrambling.
I was worried. He came in here. His hair's not perfect, and he showed up 12 minutes ago. Sorry to throw you under the bus, but how's it feel?
That's okay. I'm good.
You're okay, though? I thought you slept in.
I know, right? We had a late night last night.
Yes.
So it would have been justified, but no, we're okay.
Would it have been?
Is it ever?
You don't have any mousse in your Moose's hair.
Moose doesn't have any mousse.
So we got a lot of things to talk about today, and our guests, I'm very excited about them. The Grim Reaper, Stu Grimson, is going to join us from Music City. And I'll tell you right now why I'm excited. I'm going to talk with Grimmer about the usual hockey stuff, of course, but there's one thing I want to talk to him about. The Nashville Predators seem to have the middle south of America locked down in terms of a market. Because we get text messages come in on the Prairie Mobile text line from the viewers in Mississippi, Alabama, and they ask about the Predators. I want to know if he's even aware how big they are in that region of the world. And speaking of that, we had to put the Prairie Mobile text line on the charger, so it's going to be out of commission for the next 14 minutes. But then for the rest of the show, I'd like to do a check-in Thursday. I used to do it on my old radio show. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we used to go, ooh, somebody's listening west of Swift Current. Now, wherever you're watching from across North America on Game Plus TV, text us, please. You're sitting there. You're not doing anything. If you're driving, please ignore this. If you got nothing else to do, shoot us a text and tell us where you're watching from. I'd be very interested to know.
Yeah.
306-840-8777. That's 840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. And the Silver Fox, Kelly Remple, will be joining us. And the guy has a resume the size of a phone book. WWF promoter, Bret Hart's agent. Worked in junior hockey for the Pats and Warriors. Worked for CTV. He's owned a restaurant. Like, this guy's done it all. He's not just going to join us to talk hockey. I want his take on the CFL-XFL. And although I'm not sure there's any news in the last day, there's been a lot of opinion. But I'm not sure about news. There is a difference. But we'll get to it all with the Silver Fox. So let's hit the Prairie Mobile, or let's hit the quick six, please, Jordan. Please and thank you. I have to say this about the pink drink that I'm on.
Yeah.
I didn't need any more energy.
But you got it.
Yes. I'm just vibrating. I'm down. I'm not joking. 13 pounds in 10 days now.
Oh, my
Can you tell? Can you really?
You're looking
Can
good.
you tell?
Very svelte.
I've got a lot of energy. Energy wasn't a problem before. Belt line, yes. Energy, no. Here we go. Here's my NHL leftovers from last night. What the hell, Flames? We're calling a hockey game last night, the Pats and Broncos. I'm just seeing these goals going bing, 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 bing. Was it 7-0 at one time? For sure 7-1.
Yeah.
It ended 7-2 for the Oilers. Not that I'm complaining, but what happened? We weren't watching the game live. We were doing our own game. Like, did Markstrom fall asleep? You guys take your hands off the wheel? It's not a good day in Calgary because I see the Oiler fans are chirping. Like, we love that stuff. I'm just asking what happened. Somebody in Calgary want to tell me what happened? Tell you the Jolly Rancher wouldn't be too happy.
Not so much.
Yeah, and then over at MSG, the Rangers, their entire coaching staff gets wiped out because of COVID, and they go out and rout the Philadelphia Flyers 9-0. So my leftover on that is, who needs coaches? But that's tongue-in-cheek because the pride of Imperial Saskatchewan, Chris Knobloch, called up from the Hartford Wolfpack, the AHL, coached the Rangers to his first career NHL win. So it's like, Dave Quinn, just you stay there in the room. We'll keep Nobby here. And I know that Ryan Hall's watching from the Broadway Hat podcast in New York, and I asked him to chime in today because we talked about the future of the Rangers, and does Chris Knobloch figure into it as their head coach? He may, especially after last night. The Jets don't lose after a loss. I'm just throwing that out there. They're 9-0-1, the Winnipeg Jets, coming off a loss. And that's good news, particularly come playoff time, because they're going to be in the playoffs, right? Yeah. You can't go on a losing streak in the playoffs. So the Winnipeg Jets have their problems, but they seem relatively small, I would suggest, and they beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3 in overtime last night. And we are, like, when are we going to declare a winner of the PLD Line A trade? Is that just snuck up on everybody?
I know.
Like, it's not even close.
Right. Not at all.
But you didn't, last time, or maybe it was Munzie didn't want to declare a winner.
Nobody does, right? You don't want to declare a winner too soon. You got to look at the life of the trade. But no, I think you're pretty happy if you're the Winnipeg Jets.
This is funny. Jason in Red Deer says, excuse me, Rod, it was 7-3, not 7-2. LOL. Thank you, Jason, for pointing that out. Rob Somerville says, checking in from Winnipeg. Flames fan Troy Durrell says, Markstrom struggled. Edmonton capitalized on their chances. You see, they're keeping McDavid and Neon Leon together. I don't know why you wouldn't do that forever. I understand what the Oiler fans who think they're our coaches are saying. You need to spread your talent through the lines. Apparently you don't. Not right now, anyways, because they're winning with those two guys together.
Those guys can play almost half the game. Just keep the other team off the scoreboard the other half, and you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. You should win most nights.
Hey, let's get the YouTube. Wakey, YouTube. One comment's come in from there. Ryan McCarthy says, checking in from a dreary upstate New York today. Welcome to Thursday, everyone. Let's get it going. Can we get a little noise here? This, by the way, is the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the NHL, UFC, and Regina Pats hockey. leading me into point 2. The Bedard watch. Connor Bedard had a goal and an assist last night for the Regina Pats and a 3-2 win over the Swift Current Broncos. I was talking with my brother this morning, hockey guy, and I said I've been getting a lot of blowback from people about the Bedard hype, too much of it. My brother said, tell you what, when those other players do what he's doing, they'll get the hype too.
He's not wrong.
Mic drop. Zip it. Point 3, Deshaun Watson's claims of sexual harassment, the quarterback for the Houston Texans. This has all come up in the last 24 hours. 2 massage therapists in Houston have accused him of sexual harassment, and my spider senses went off the second that I heard of this story. They very delicately broached it on the ESPN Get Up this morning and with Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. has a law degree, and he dabbled in it more than anybody else. Here's my thinking on Deshaun Watson. I don't know him personally, but I know a lot of guys that do know Deshaun Watson. And what have they said? He's an unbelievable guy. I know you don't know him, you don't fully know anyone. But nobody's ever heard anything wrong about Deshaun Watson. And the timing to me is remarkable. That it's incredibly hard to get an abuse victim to come forward. Like, incredibly hard. Trust me, I'm dealing with it right now. And 2 come out right in the middle of the time that he's in a contract stalemate with the Houston Texans? Like, I know I'm skeptical and probably in a little way jaded, but who knows? And the courts are going to sort this out, right? But they've asked for 6-figure settlements. As Stephen A. said, the guy has a $140 million contract. Why are you only asking for a 6-figure settlement? So my spider senses went off, and it's not, if he's guilty of it, fry him, okay? And in Texas, they might. I'm just saying, for a team, somebody to be behind this, to turn a fan base against a guy, to get him out of town, drop his value. See what I'm saying? That's all that I'm saying. Spider senses are tingling. That's nothing against the people that have come forward, but it's just strange timing to me. We'll see where it goes. Yeah. Point 4, the Raptors have lost 6 in a row. You got to love Rod Black. I don't know if you saw the Sports Center, his clip with Leo. March Madness has turned into March Sadness. Such a blackie.
Of course, that's him.
Point 5, Argo notes. Was it Tuesday that the Argos signed Enoch Mwamba, or was it yesterday? Who knows? It got swept out in the wash.
Yeah.
He was my number 2 free agent going into free agency. Number 2 behind Brandon Banks, who stayed with Hamilton. And now he went to number 1, and the Argos got him yesterday. And, of course, everybody's saying, of course they got him. They get everybody. Yeah. So there's that. And then the story hit 3 down about Stephen McAdoo when Ryan Dinwiddie came on here on Friday and said he didn't deserve to get the boot in Saskatchewan. Boy, have I loved the blowback from the Rider Nation on those comments by Dinwiddie. And that's Dinwiddie. Like, I swear how many people don't know this guy. He's going to rock it, let it roll, say what he wants to say. Yeah. And I love it because I know a guy like that. Man, they didn't like. Now, having said all that with McAdoo, I get it. I never had a problem with him. I worked with him for a couple of years. But his play selection, personnel selection on the second last drive of the 2019 West Final, I didn't have a problem with him being fired. But those Jones boys, the Jones crew, Max, like the lieutenant colonel in the Jones Army.
Yeah.
You don't fire the lieutenant colonel. So the reaction's been interesting.
Very, very interesting.
And can I just get your take on CFL-XFL? I said there hasn't been news on this. Really, there's been a lot of opinion, but not a lot of news. We'll spend way more time on this tomorrow with John Frenzy. Everybody wants to know what Frenzy thinks about this. But I'm going to tell you something. If there's a guy you want to listen to, I think it's the owner of the Alouettes, Gary Stern. This guy, he's a truth teller. He's a truth speaker, you know?
Yeah.
And we haven't heard from him for a long time,
It's been a little while.
I feel like he got the mob treatment, blanket thrown over him, put in a van and taken out into the field for a while and dropped off.
It's like, we got to find a way to get him on here. is what we need.
We got a good relationship with the Alouettes.
Corner him on here for 20 minutes. I think that would be great because, find out what's going on because after the talks have been announced, everything's gone real quiet.
Yes.
Real quiet. And they've let the dust hasn't settled yet, but they're letting it go
And my
down.
point on that is Gary Stern told the Montreal Gazette, it's no secret the CFL needs help. And you guys all see our DMs. They're all open here. So you see the CFL players, big name stars, DMing us saying, Rod, is there going to be a season? And I have yet to figure out why they're asking me. But here's the answer to it. If they get money from somebody, i.e. the help that Gary Stern's referring to, they will play. If they don't get the money, they won't play. I don't think you can put it any more simple than, and I can't give you the answer because they don't have the answer. So that's what we're telling all the players. And it's horrible for them because they continue to be in limbo and dangle for at least another 6 weeks. John Frenzy said he heard May 1st is the drop-dead date to announce a season for the Canadian Football League. And I know who his source is, too. Pretty high-profile CFL person. So unless I've completely misread it, that's my take.
Yeah, and you got to think back. Again, we've been doing this with all of the leagues, and we've been right every time. But middle of May is training camps. So just start walking it back. 2 weeks from there, you need for quarantine time. 2 weeks from that, you need for training and travel time, and another 2 weeks as a buffer. So you're looking at beginning of April, maybe at the latest, the middle of April, where they need to decide if they're starting the season on time. If not, then you know it's going to get pushed back. And everybody talked about Labor Day. If there's any hope of a season, we need to find out soon.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to delve into this deep on the #1 podcast in the XFL, XFL Mark podcast. That's the name. Follow him on Twitter, @XFL Mark. It's dropping tonight, and I'm very excited to be on the show. And this is the one thing I'll just tell the football guys. From a media perspective, we've hooked up with all these XFL podcasters and reporters and bloggers, and our numbers have gone, pew. Why wouldn't you work together? But they don't want to do that. Or at least they didn't last I heard. Some comments from our viewers here. Mike Blackbird in Toronto says, geez, the Argos can't win without anyone getting mad or beefing on them. Nelson Hackowicz says, from Dan Barnes, Edmonton Journal, there's more appetite for change among the Board of Governors than most diehard fans might hope. I'll believe it when I see it. Stop talking, start acting. Craig Campbell, downtown Toronto, Hockey Hall of Fame, says, Enoch Mwamba, a big signing for the Argos, but of course this was not noticed by the young generation at the sports networks in Toronto. Don't know what to say about that, but we're talking about it here. From William May, he says, the teams are in talks with the government about playing now. Great. Christmas is coming too. Jeff Stamps says, I love Football Friday. Jeff, the Stamps fan, but it's not Friday. And we're going to be talking hockey with the Grim Reaper coming up here in moments. James Thrice on the Deshaun Watson stuff says, usually I wouldn't talk about this before some kind of verdict was reached, but at least one of the individuals asking for a settlement hasn't filed suit yet. And James Thrice is one of our American viewers. So the whole thing about Deshaun Watson is quite simply innocent until proven guilty. And maybe Stu Grimson will have some thoughts on that because he is a lawyer. Let's not tar and feather Deshaun Watson until we get some more details on this. What'd you say about, whoa? You said people are headline readers. Yeah. Deshaun Watson accused of sexual harassment. Where's the charge? Where's the proof? It's dangerous stuff here, man. And I'm just taking the player side in this case. And I want to read this comment from Norway. Norway calling. Last night was the night of domination in the NHL. The Flames need a fire lit under their butts. It seems like the CFL-XFL situation could be an American field with 3 downs and a yard off the ball. Just wondering. Sacramento was the only American CFL team that had a Canadian regulation field. What happens from here? Have a good day, everyone. Trent Bruner checking in from Norway, where it is 5:15 p.m. Do we have the Grim Reaper? Awesome. We're going to Music City next with the great Stu Grimson. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Peterson Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Listen, we're going to save most of the football talk for Football Friday tomorrow, Flame Tech Football Friday. I know I got you all riled up on the warm-up, but Thursdays is a hockey day. Rod Monroe's watching. He's our producer, Clark's dad. He says, congratulations to the Pats on their first win last night. Here's to many more. Pats will face the Brandon Wheat Kings on Saturday. Stephen Kleinsasser writes in, says, good morning from Martinsville, home of the best burger in Saskatchewan. Jennifer Illingworth says, good morning, crew, and are asking our viewers that are watching on Game Plus television to check in where they're watching from. Bob from Grand Prairie, Alberta, says, Grand Prairie's in. This is kickoff for the dub. U.S. Division, Portland versus Tri-City tonight. Were you aware of that? From Edmonton, watching in Edmonton this morning, cheers, Rod, from RBS. But let's bring in the Grim Reaper now. Very talented individual, hockey player, lawyer, NHL Network, best-selling author, model. How you doing, Grimmer?
Who did I? What, you slipped that last one. You tried to slip that last one in on me. Who did I model for?
The guy that reconstructed your face, the doctor that did that. Aren't you on all the pamphlets in his lobby?
Well, yeah, he didn't improve on the before picture, but he got me pretty close to the before. So kudos to the doc.
Grimmer, I'm going to dive into something I said earlier. I wanted to ask you a few questions that you wouldn't normally get. Here's one. One of our viewers in Biloxi Beach, Mississippi, texted in and said, when are the Predators going to be good again? They've been bad for so long. I'm like, weren't they just in the Stanley Cup final not that long ago? Like, what's the deal with the Preds? I don't feel like it's a downtrodden fan base, or should be.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. It really is. I mean, that was a very competitive iteration of the Nashville Predators. I think we go back to 2017 as the Stanley Cup Finals versus Pittsburgh, correct? And,
yep.
That team, it was a bit of a surprise run. I don't really think a lot of folks had them pegged to be a Stanley Cup finalist that year. But I will say the most telling point is, I think both the playing personnel, and they communicated this to David Poile, and I think David Poile really took it to heart. I think incorporated a good bit of veteran player feedback in his approach going forward around that time. And what I'm referencing, Clark, is the players were saying in their exit meetings that year and the year after, hey, keep us together. We think we got a good thing going here. We think we can improve on what we've done to this point. And really, with the exception of a tweak here or there, maybe signing Duchesne for some down the middle support, roster really hasn't on paper improved since that time. So you're taking a team that exceeded expectations. I think perhaps it's either inferior on paper, or the players that are on that roster aren't performing to potential. And I think you've kind of got what you see now, the recipe for a team that is well south of the playoff cutoff line in the Central Division.
Well, and I'm not done on the Preds yet, but speaking of the South, for years they were on Fox Sports South. I think they still are with Crispy and yourself. And it seems to me, you tell me if I'm wrong or not, but the Preds kind of own that Gulf Coast area of Mississippi, Alabama, obviously Tennessee, of fans, right? They're Preds fans in that area. Have you got that sense? Have you done any traveling around that area? They, like I say, they're on Fox Sports South. That's their TV network in that area.
Yeah, no, they get really robust coverage and a pretty strong following in the Southeast generally. Of course, you get deeper into the Southeast, you've got the Florida-based teams who dominate interest there. But I think where you talk about the Preds, there's really I think little doubt. You go Kentucky to Tennessee south, other side of Tennessee to the south is Alabama. And, kind of in that region, you've got a really strong following for the Predators franchise. And of course, like any marketplace, that ebbs and flows with how competitive the team is on the ice. And of late, I think a bit of a shock to a lot of folks. I didn't have high expectations for this club this year, given the transactions of the last offseason, but I expected them to compete for a playoff spot. Looks like they're probably sellers at the deadline.
So, Grimmer, like I said, these aren't your normal questions that you'll get, and I know that you'll enjoy them. I'm not going to ask any more from myself. These are all from the viewers.
Oh, no more preface required. You've got my interest. You've piqued my interest here.
Okay, good. Well, Craig Campbell from the Hockey Hall of Fame says, what do you recall playing with the University of Manitoba Bisons? And the reason this is timely is Mike Babcock, as you know, is coming back to the U of S. So we were trying to name all the ex-university players that went to the NHL. Todd Ellick, of course, came up. Corey Cross, yourself. It's not that many.
Steve Ruchin. Don't forget Steve Ruchin, an old teammate of mine. He came out of, I think he was, well, yeah, right. Played for the Ducks, was the center to Teemu and Paul for years and years. I think Ruch came out of, I think it was like an Ontario-based Canadian university.
So what did that do for your career, playing there?
You know what? I talk about this a lot in the book, and it was well worth the stop for me. Of course, the University of Manitoba came in between a 3-year career at the WHL level with the Regina Pats, whereby after I graduated from the Dub, I was part of the Calgary Flames organization. I went to a Flames camp. I kind of, I didn't know if pro was for me. I walked away a very young, inexperienced, immature young man. I went back to school, and I kind of needed that time to grow up and start to figure out what my future looked like. So, stopping at the U of M, playing 2 years under Wayne Fleming, and let me just insert, a piece of insight here. I played for some great coaches. I have a lot of respect for really everybody I played for over the course of my career. Wayne Fleming, God rest his soul, Clark, died tragically and far too early. Several years ago, lost to cancer. He was one of the great men I ever played for, and I think one of the great hockey teachers I ever played for. Had a great career both at the Canadian university level and overseas as well, playing, coaching in a number of the European leagues, and then was an assistant to assistant coach to half a dozen different organizations. Wayne was a good hockey man.
Oh, you're still going? Yeah, okay.
It was long story short, Clark.
It's Rod, by the way. It's Rod. It's Rod.
Keep Clark. Clark's your producer. I'm sorry.
Do you have your coffee yet, Grimmer?
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
No, I'm like a half cup. I'm a half cup into it. Sorry, Rod. And so the point that I'm making is that was a critical stop for me. Without that 2-year stretch at the University of Manitoba, no way that I go on to, enjoy a really, in my estimation, for a guy with below average speed and hands of stone, playing pro hockey at the NHL level for, 14 years, 17 years of pro altogether. I exceeded a lot of people's expectations, probably including my own.
So what we love about this chat, and you're realizing it now, is it's hockey guys. So Dale Durkach writes in, the Rat. He says, Mike Ridley, New York Rangers, University of Manitoba.
Right.
The Rat also says, say hello to Grimmer for me, was my sidekick for a couple of years. Again, skill plays well when skill feels comfortable. That's Dirk's comment. Paul Figler from the dubnetwork.ca is watching. He says, Ruchin played for the University of Western Ontario, for those who want to know. Glenn, a Pats alum watching in Tallahassee, Florida, says that Grimmer is a good Christian. I know he's a believer. We've had those discussions. So there's that, Grimmer. So it's a nice little hockey get-together here this morning that we're having. I appreciate you being part of it. Christopher Ryan, where the heck is it? He had a comment about Don Cherry. He's watching on YouTube. Don Cherry's comments about you with regards to fighting. I'll be honest, I remember it, but I forget the details now. Are you and Grapes over that?
Well, he apologized. So, I give him a lot of credit for that. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen Grapes walk anything back, and he did it full-throated on national television. So, we appreciate that. But just to give folks the background on that, all of a sudden to start the broadcast, and I think this goes back to, maybe 2010, 11, something like that. To start the season's broadcast on Hockey Night in Canada, he comes out and makes some big splashy intro saying that Stu Grimson, Jim Thompson, and Chris Nyland are all hypocrites, turncoats, and pukes. Pukes was kind of, that touched a nerve. That really got me agitated. I've been called a lot of things in my life, but puke, I've never been called anything like that before.
Yep.
On national television. But he called us that because we were taking this anti-fighting stance, which we weren't. I mean, Jimmy Thompson has clearly been anti-violence in hockey since he left the game. So that was, true of Jimmy. That was on the mark where Jimmy was concerned. But he kind of looped Knuckles and I in on that when we had never said anything remotely close to that. So it kind of got our fire lit to, rattle the legal saber a little bit and get CBC/Don's attention. And I think ultimately, it put him in a corner where he felt like he needed to do the right thing, to walk it back, because nowhere out there, again, had we ever said anything like that. So he did, we let it die, and everybody's moved on since then. But I referred to it in the book as Cherrygate. And it was, for 2-3 weeks of the hockey season early that year, it was a pretty good dust up, pretty kind of entertaining to follow.
It was big news, but I'd like to think people move on. Apparently, they don't all move on. From viewer Donna Berger, she says, "This is real life. Love this show for it." From Wayne in Victoria, BC, "I am really enjoying the chat with Grimmer. Great interview as expected." And my last question for you, Stu, is this. I'd like to think you're our Predators insider. Ron Duguay was just on the other day as the Rangers insider for us.
Oh,
He's volunteered to do that. But he said, where's the big rough and tumble Canadian hockey players that we all grew up with? He wouldn't put himself in that category. Yourself. I named Ryan Reeves. Is Ross Johnston Canadian of the Islanders? Doesn't matter. He's like, you named 2. Stu, do you think there would have been a place for you in today's NHL? You know what I mean?
I think, I think it's a good question. I think, my answer to that, I think helps inform people of how far the game has evolved. I don't think so. I think you've got to be quicker. You've probably got to be a little more skilled on the offensive side than I was. And, here's the thing. I had a specific skill set, a specific strength. Rod, I was pretty good at what I did, and I did that well, but I didn't have, how should I say? I wasn't as well-rounded as the likes of a Matt Martin, a Ryan Reeves, a Tom Wilson is probably even an unfair example because he plays in a top 6 role, and he's piling up points annually now, playing alongside of guys like Ovechkin. But I don't think so. It's an interesting conversation. Dale Durkach on. It's kind of the flip side of the equation, right? If Dale Durkach, my former centerman as a Regina Pat, if he were breaking into today's game, does he have a better chance of playing then? Because he couldn't break in, struggled to break in back in our era, the late 80s, the 90s? And I think the answer to that question is overwhelmingly yes. I would have loved to have seen Dale Durkach coming up in this era of hockey. Smaller guys don't have to prove they can play. When you're that skilled, you get the benefit of the doubt until somebody sees different. So that to me is probably a more interesting hypothetical. Could Dale Durkach play in today's game? You bet, and he'd be lighting it up.
Dewey was just in here the other day, and he said near the end of his career, the Oilers did offer him a contract, and you would probably remember that, but he was making more money in Europe. He's like, I just can't.
Right.
And I understand that. By the way, the Oiler alum, Bill Tuelli, wrote in here the other day. He was watching in Nanaimo, BC, and he said, hey, it was horrible that we couldn't bring Durkach into the 80s Oilers. But come on, it was the 80s Oilers. There wasn't a lot of guys that could crack that lineup. But Grimmer, we got to run. As always, all the best. I look forward to the day that we share a stage again, my friend. Stay safe, and let's do it again soon.
Okay, thanks, Rod, a.k.a. Clark.
Got it. Have a good day. Finish that coffee. Stu Grimson, Regina Pat's legend. That's how I remember. I wore this in his honor today, although I wear Pat stuff most every day.
The Clark and Daryl show.
Yeah, I know. We'll be back. We're changing the name of the show, folks. We'll be back with a sports update and a lot more. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to, I said it's check-in day, check-in Thursday, wherever you're watching the RP show, particularly on Game Plus TV, okay? Text us right here. Comes to my hand, 306-840-8777. Write it down. Put it on the fridge or the coffee table or in your phone, preferably. 306-840-8777. From Timo in Edmonton. It was the once-a-week wake-up for the Oilers. I'll get to that in the sports. Even Oiler fans now aren't fooled by their team.
No.
They're wary of them. From Metal Shingle Guy, he says, Bedski and the Jägermeister representing Canada in the future. Hockey Canada is probably salivating at the thought. Go Pats. That's from Metal Shingle Guy, who is admittedly not a hockey guy, but he's into the Bedard Jäger story.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? You got to play. You got to get in front of people's faces. Marketing and hype works, believe it or not. And he goes on to say, 4-down football on the bigger field with a waggle could sell in the United States. CFL-XFL 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 2022. 20 Again, text us where you're watching from today. What else do you got to do? We're interested to know where people are watching. So far, Alberta.
Yeah, a lot of Alberta.
Which, hey, we're happy with. Connor McDavid had a goal and 2 assists for the Edmonton Oilers in a 7-3 win over the host Calgary Flames Wednesday night. It was their first loss under Darryl Sutter since he took over as head coach. Nikolai Ehlers' overtime goal gave the Winnipeg Jets a 4-3 edge over the Montreal Canadiens at Bell MTS Place. Adam Gaudette scored in a shootout to give the Vancouver Canucks a 3-2 victory over the Ottawa Senators at CT Centre. Thatcher Demko made 30 saves for Vancouver, who's won 3 in a row. Mika Zibanejad tied an NHL record with 6 points in the second period of the New York Rangers' 9-0 win over the Philadelphia Flyers. I won't put you on the spot and ask you who held the record, and still does. Zibanejad tied him. 6 points in one period. Brian Trottier from Val Marie, Saskatchewan.
I wouldn't have got it.
No, nor would I.
No.
Patrick Guay and Thomas Casey both scored twice, and the Charlottetown Islanders completed a 2-game sweep of the Cape Breton Eagles with a 7-1 victory on Wednesday in the Q. Get this one, Dupes. Earlier in the day, Cedric DeRusso had a pair of goals, and Colton Ellis made 21 saves as Charlottetown blanked Cape Breton 5-0 in the first game of a doubleheader.
What?
Huh?
A doubleheader?
A major junior hockey doubleheader happened in the Q last night, or yesterday.
That's incredible.
Tuesday's game between the Eagles and Islanders was postponed due to an issue with the ice at East Link Center. It had nothing to do with COVID.
Oh,
think about that.
The coaches would have to agree to it. I'd love to talk to a coach. Would you ever agree to a doubleheader?
Of course.
That's incredible.
Would you?
I would.
Right.
But would Mitch Love? Or Dave Struess?
More hockey. Nobody has a problem with it, Darren. Baseball players do it all the time.
I know, but...
Philip Daou scored once and set up 2 more, and Dakota Lund Cornish turned away 31 of 33 shots as the Moncton Wildcats halted St. John's win streak at 3 games. By the way, not to let the cat out of the bag or tease people, but you're going to see that Moncton Arena in about 6-7 weeks' time live in the flesh. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Right on the main drag in Moncton there. And did I tell you about when I snuck into there?
No.
Touchdown Atlantic, you know me. I wander around, I visit, and if I can't get in somewhere, they wouldn't let me in the one-door security. So I went and bought takeout from a restaurant, went back to the other security door and said, delivery here. Go right in, bro. Don't try this at home.
The other is just wear a suit. Just wear a suit.
Oh, yeah, they never stop you if you wear a suit. Another loss for the Raptors. Storm and Norman Powell scored a career-high 43 points, and Toronto had almost a full roster, but the Raptors were dropped 116-112 by the Pistons in Detroit. Fred Van Vliet returned for Toronto after missing time with COVID-19. He had 12 points on 2 for 13 shooting. Don't let that stop you from betting with our official betting partner, Come On Canada. The odds just didn't work yesterday.
It didn't work, but if, watch to see if they do that again, because 5 times the bet, you got 4 times to be wrong and still be okay.
Just don't let that scare you off, you first-time bettors, with our official betting partner, Come On Canada. You can place your wagers at comeon.com, download their app. They're findable in many places. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room, your home of Regina Pats hockey, on their big screens. Next game Saturday night at 8 p.m. versus the Brandon Wheat Kings. And you can find them on the Heart of the Dewdney Strip. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. About the Rangers blowing out the Philadelphia Flyers last night, I asked Kyle Hall if he would watch and chime in on the program today. He hosts the Broadway Hat podcast, and I was on it a couple weeks ago in New York. It was my Broadway debut, Darren. And we're still talking about that. Kyle Hall says St. Patrick's Day Massacre at MSG. Hopefully this gets Zibanejad going, and with Panarin red hot since coming back, could the Rangers go on a run? Get back in the East conversation? If you follow those Rangers guys on Twitter, they were having a blast, a ball last night. Did you see Duguay?
Oh,
He tweeted, I wish I could play in this game.
I know.
It was point night. So, yeah, a lot of things to talk about in the world of stick and puck. We'll jump into viewer takeover when we come back, plus our curling report. On the way, the Silver Fox. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Peterson Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Peterson.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. We got a lot popping here today. We got a lot going on. And here's me caught with my pants down. I wasn't ready for the curling report.
Uh-oh.
It's not going to take long.
Gushu won, I know that. Gushu and Einerson won 9-1. That's your curling report for Verge Agriculture.
Gushu always wins. There we go. Jeff Walker knows every inch of the room, hall, lobby, and parking lot of the hotel housing the teams in Calgary's curling bubble. He and infant son Liam will cover the same ground while Laura Walker competes in the Canadian Mixed Doubles Curling Championship starting today. Jeff Walker embarked on his fourth straight week in the bubble yesterday. Jeff placed lead for Brad Gushu, who competed in the Brier that concluded Sunday at Wynn Sports Markin McPhail Center. Laura skipped Alberta to a bronze medal in last month's Scotties. She and Jeff tag teamed on baby duty while Laura shunted back and forth across the Trans-Canada Highway between hotel and arena. Can you believe that? How about that?
Unreal.
Canadian mixed doubles opens today in the Calgary curling bubble, and some people have been in there for over a month.
Well, Laura, and then she's going to continue because she's playing with Holman now at some Grand Slam events, and wow.
Meanwhile, ongoing efforts to make everyone feel welcome and engaged in curling centers across the country will produce some significant initiatives that will benefit the sport of curling. While progress has been made in the areas of diversity and inclusion in curling in recent years, there is much work to be done, according to CEO Catherine Henderson. She said in a news release from Curling Canada, over the past 12 months, all sports organizations have been learning some hard truths about where we stand on the topic of diversity and how much we still need to do. It's been in equal parts unsettling and encouraging. We've listened to so many voices about the issues that need to be addressed, and it wasn't easy to hear those voices. We were challenged, and justifiably so. So a significant outcome of the consultation process with curlers from all backgrounds across Canada will be launched on Sunday in recognition of the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. So be watching for that. Curling reporters for Verge Agriculture helping farmers plan and optimize their operations across every field. Try Verge's Precision Farm Tech software free today at vergeag.com. How come I don't see any black curlers? I say that tongue-in-cheek, but it's a question. I'm just saying, what? It's the people that curl, okay?
Vernon Davis was a curler in the States. He was trying to get
San Francisco 49er?
Yeah, was he on the...
Can't win with him.
He was either on the Olympic team or he's trying to get on the Olympic team, and he was their coach.
We talked about it yesterday with Liz Child from dubnetwork.ca. I say it tongue-in-cheek. It's just those are the people that curl. It's what it is. Turn on the TV. At some point, can you just say, this is the demographics of the sport? These are the people that won their respective regions. That's why they're here.
That's right.
That's all. To the text line from the 290, anonymous texter. I mentioned I had called the Mad Greek when I was in Moose Jaw a few weeks back and asked for the Rod Peterson special, and they hung up on me. LOL. He was joking. Well, I was back in Moose Jaw this week and decided to ask for the DuPont special, and my pie came topped with hair. Kidding.
Awkward.
Kidding. Great food, great people. The Mad Greek restaurant. Do we have something to face off on? Who's going to finish higher, Dupe's Blades or my Pats?
Well,
I wasn't really calling for it, but what the heck?
The Blades will.
What are you talking about?
You already won the last one, okay? He scored on Nolan Meyer. I said he wouldn't score on him all year. He'd score on everybody else, not
Bedard?
Nolan Meyer. Yeah, and he did.
Didn't take long.
Didn't take long. He scored. We didn't have that game on television, but...
Can we write it down? March 18th. Rod says the Pats will finish higher than the Blades, and usually... We've debated this once already.
The Blades will finish higher. I do believe that. But I've given up on this Bedard not scoring on Saskatoon business.
Well, you're already wrong on that. Like you said, you're big enough to admit that.
Yes.
And by the way, for anybody that's jealous of the hype that Connor Bedard's getting, aside from Carson Denemy, because he's scoring like a phenom, but anybody else, you do what Bedard's doing, you'll get the hype that Bedard's getting. Todd in Langenberg writes in, is there a goalie controversy brewing in Regina? Keeper looked good last night, but Roddy Ross is supposed to be the number one. Signed, Todd in Langenberg, the home of Kelly Buckberger. And we said it on the broadcast last night. I hope you watched it. Do you go with a hot hand, the guy that got his first win last night, the rookie who's 17, or do you go with a 20-year-old who's supposed to be better and supposed to be your guy? I'm not sure the answer for that. But we'll find out who starts Saturday night at 8. The face-off is for the Mad Greek in Moose Jaw, available for licensed dining, takeout, or delivery. Head to the madgreekeatery.com for more information. And for Ultimate Fan Zone, your one-stop shop for the sports fans on your list, visit the Man Cave, downtown Moose Jaw, or on Facebook. Next hour, the Silver Fox, Kelly Remple, a lot of CFL-XFL chat, and more of all these topics. We'll see you back for hour 2 after the break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
No. Here's a little secret with what I do at the Rod Peterson Show. I've made a career of it. I don't care whether you like me or you don't like me, but when you watch my show, I just want you to feel something.
How about that?
Whether you're happy or you're sad or you're angry or you're proud, I just want you to feel something. Because a lot of times you'll read a column or watch a show and it's, That's never been the hallmark of what I do. I want to make you think. I want to make you feel something. And it's worked. And if you don't agree with me, I'll be fine.
This is the Rod Peterson Show.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Rod Peterson Show, Canada's daytime sports talk show, coming to you from the bunker from Western Canada. You see this silver-haired gentleman to my right, your left. How you doing, Rems?
I couldn't be much better.
Oh,
the
good.
only thing that could make it a little bit better is if my kids could go back to playing sports. Hopefully.
Well,
soon.
You're here for 2 segments. We got a lot to get to with the Silver Fox. He is the featured guest here of hour 2 of the program, and I want to get to hockey with him. I want to get to CFL-XFL with him. There's a lot of things to get to. There's some carryover from last hour. Stu Grimson was there. I've only known him for 20 years, done probably 10 events with him, and he called me Clark through the whole interview. He's apologized since. Poster boy for CTE, Stu Grimson, checking in from Nashville, Tennessee. Christopher Ryan, One of our viewers writes in on YouTube, says, Rod, you got that voice that makes us feel like we're at home in Regina in the 90s, listening to CKRM after a Pats game or Rider game. Well, thank you, Christopher Ryan. I don't know where you're located. I appreciate that.
What a compliment.
Yeah, but it reminds me of Lynch. Why does everybody love Lynch? He reminds me of listening to the radio in the 70s and 80s when I was a little kid. So I know that as far as the people that listened to me for 30 years on the radio on this problem, I got it made. Some guy actually said to me when I left the last job, as you probably know, they'll forget about you in a couple weeks. Guy told me that.
Well,
it is what it is. From Jeff Kozak. Great to listen to the Silver Fox. So I'm just chiming in with some of these comments here. It's one last one before we turn it over to Rems. From Janelle Barkman, Saskatoon Blades fan. She says, all other teams, including us, basically cry watching Bedard. Unreal. We are all jealous, but we will still win. Before we get to CFL-XFL, your take on the Jagger, I call it the Bedard versus Braden buzz.
Well, I mean, it's fun. I love it myself. They're both exceptional, elite players. This isn't going to make my Warrior contingent very happy. I do think Connor Bedard has a little bit of an extra gear that Braden Jagger doesn't have, but that doesn't mean that Braden Jagger is not an amazingly talented 15-year-old. I mean, I was thinking about this the other night. So they played each other head-to-head. Jagger had 3 points, Bedard had 2.
Yep.
You may never in your lifetime ever again see two 15-year-olds on two different teams combined for 5 points in a game. That may never happen again, ever.
It was a historic night.
And it's remarkable what both have been able to accomplish. But that Connor Bedard kid is absolutely incredible. Like, I mean, he not, and so is Braden Jagger, but Bedard, it just amazes me the impact that he's had in a really short period of time. It's kind of like how I felt about Braden Point in his first 15-year-old year, where you're watching a kid play and you're going like, this is not supposed to be happening. There's no way that a 15-year-old should be able to be this productive. It just shouldn't be happening.
No.
But it is.
Yeah.
So it's remarkable.
We invite your comments on Facebook and YouTube. Craig Smith, our director of scouting, is watching, and he says, the Silver Fox. I have to tell you, this guy, Kelly, is the favorite.
I love Smitty.
Who doesn't? The Silver Fox is the favorite panelist on this show of one CFL team who's told me that. They like, you got to get the Silver Fox on more. And the hint is that they wear red on their uniform.
That's almost hard to believe it's them.
But I'm not going to say any more than that. The poll question, just to update this for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Will you be filling out a March Madness bracket? 69% of respondents saying no, they won't. And I would have been in that bracket. What are they saying on Facebook? 82% say no. And I would have been in the no, but I got invited by the boys in Philly. Dan, the Situation Saravelli, has asked me to be in his bracket. And I'm like, yeah, what the heck? Why not? So there's that. And then the check-in Thursday, we're asking where you're watching from. Text us. Prairie Mobile text line, please. 306-840-8777. That is 306-840-8777. Rems, the footballers have been dying to get to this point. It's taken an hour and 5 minutes.
All right.
To delve into the CFL-XFL stuff. And I've made my thoughts known. I think we're going full-on merger. And I'll just say this. The CFL will play in 2021 if they get a cash injection from someone. The bank, private investors, The Rock, the government, whomever it is, then they'll play. But Gary Stern, the owner of the Alouettes, admitted yesterday, we need help. He's an honest guy. He's the guy you want to listen to, I think. Montreal Alouettes owner Gary Stern. And then a full-on merger in 2022. But you've obviously spent some time on this.
Thinking about it, talking about it, yep, for sure.
Where are you on it?
Well, I think they're going to get some government money.
Do you?
I have no doubt in my mind.
Why didn't they last year?
Because I think their presentation was an embarrassment. I mean, they went in there, with all due respect, you and I could have put together a better proposal. At least we would have had some answers to some questions. I don't mean to pile on this poor commissioner, Gary Ambrosi. I think he's doing...
Randy
Ambrosi, sorry. Now I'm like Stu Grimson calling you Clark for the whole show.
I know.
Randy Ambrosi, I don't mean to pile on the guy. I think sometimes people go a little hard on him. He's doing the best he can. But from what I could see and what I pieced together... it was a desperation move to get in there, and we got to do something. We got to go in there with something and try to make something happen in this meeting. And government doesn't work that way. You have to have a plan. Every time they ask you a question and you say, "Well, we don't know," it's kind of like you have to have a plan. So this year they're going to be more organized. They're going to have more examples from what other leagues have done. There was really I believe that the time they made their proposal last time, they themselves probably had no clue what they could even possibly propose, in fairness. So sometimes you're better off to not even ask if you have nothing to offer a conversation. But I think this year they will, and I think the government will come up with something for them. Now, there may be private money and whatnot as well. Let's not also forget that it's pretty tough to walk away from a $50 million or whatever, what is their TSN? Don't they have
right around there,
a monster deal with them? So it's tough to turn those dollars down. And I think realistically, Rod, we have to understand that this year is much different than last year, because this year there should be a needle in every arm of everybody that wants one by Labor Day. Whereas last year, things were spiraling out of control. The vaccinations weren't even on the horizon. So I do think that all of these things sort of play into it. Hopefully, you would think that by Labor Day, you would at least be able to have some fans attending. So I just think that there's different layers of hope. Whereas last year, there was no hope.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in, you're opening up a business and you go to the bank and you want a loan. And every time they ask you a question, you say, "Well, I don't know." What do you think your chances are of getting some money put in your account?
But it happened. That's the problem. They're not dumb guys, these leaders that are trying to find a way to get onto the field, but that was dumb. You better have the answers when you're standing before the House of Commons and they're just saying, "What are the players going to get out of this?" We don't know. He wasn't prepared. That's the thing. That's what worries me. That's not on Randy. He didn't have a good team around him to prepare him to go in there. And yes, they found out a lot in the last year. But I'll say, if you're saying, and that's why I love bringing you in here, by the way, I don't want to sit here and rant on my own things every day. They don't change. I don't change my opinion. It's nice to hear what you think, and other people. So it's all based on getting people in the stadiums, period. So when the Ontario sport minister comes out the other day and says, "I have no problem with it playing in a bubble," that hasn't changed in a year. She didn't have a problem with them last summer. They're not going to play in a bubble.
Yeah.
They need people in the stands. Fake news right there. So what you're kind of telling me is, and there's two hurdles for the CFL here. One, getting people vaccinated. Two, getting them to convinced to come back in the stadium. What's their bank account look like after a year of this, right? Are they going to be buying tickets? I get the sense people really miss their CFL football. For sure on the prairies. I don't know about the major markets. But you're kind of eyeing a Labor Day kickoff at best?
Well, no, I mean, I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. I guess what I am saying, Rod, regardless, I don't have a date in mind even necessarily. I know one thing, it's not going to start on the Canada Day long weekend. I hear some of you, I don't know if you consider them your competitors or not, but I've listened to others in the market on different radio stations talking to, they're still optimistic, boy, that we're going to start on time. Are you kidding me right now?
That was when Craig Reynolds was on CGME?
It was about, no, it was the other station.
Okay.
They were just talking, I would say maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I mean, I love Glenn Suter. I really, truly do. He's one of my favorite all-time riders, and I think he makes all kinds of sense 99% of the time. But I just think it's just, as much as I like Glenn, I think it's just a little unrealistic to think that there would be a hope in you-know-where that they would ever be able to play on time. It's not going to happen. I mean, they don't even have a plan for training camps, and normally wouldn't that be starting in about 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So from my perspective, I just think like we got to be a little bit realistic here. If you, what would be the minimum number of games that it would even make sense to even have a season? 10, 9, 10?
What was they willing to do? 6 last year, were they not? A minimum 6-game season, I thought.
Yeah, that seems low to me, but that you could be right. To me, that's almost not even worth it at that point. 6. But if you could get, half a season.
Well, that's a third. And what's the Western League playing? 24 is less than half.
Yeah. I think, good point. I don't know if the CFL and the WHL, where all the guys are kind of local, like most of the kids that are playing on the Regina Pats, the majority of
Canadians.
them are Canadians. And,
Yes.
and whereas here we're bringing Americans, lots of them. It's a little bit more logistically difficult when you're talking about lots of guys crossing borders and teams spread out from one coast to the other, as opposed to, all teams playing in Saskatchewan, all teams playing in Alberta. Different. But my point is, I don't think that there's any point in even having a conversation about a July 1st. I mean, come on. We're so far away from that. But maybe a 10-game, 12-game schedule. If you could ever get to the point where you could, you could convince a politician or somebody in a higher, somewhere up the chain that, look, if we're on track that all people 50 and over are going to have the vaccine by May or June, would that not mean that by August or mid-August that we'll probably be at, 30 plus or 35 plus? Like, what is it going to take for you guys to allow 50% capacity?
Okay.
That type of conversation.
I'm going to pause for a second, read a couple messages, and then we'll break and we'll come back because we just veered into something, and I haven't even asked you about the XFL, so hang on. On our check-in Thursday, where are you watching from the 416? Anonymous texter, Mr. Peterson, just started watching your show in Toronto. You're a great improvement over the trash we have here.
Say that again.
Mr. Peterson, just started watching your show. You're a great improvement over the trash we have here in Toronto. God bless.
Yikes.
Watching by the pool in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Sure, rub it in. From the 640. Watching from Assiniboia, home of Cat Country 98 FM. I love saying that. And the reason I bring this up is, two. Allie Hicks says, I'm enjoying watching your show on Game TV while recovering from surgery at home. From my hospital room yesterday, I could see Commonwealth Stadium. Really hoping for the CFL to start, even if it's delayed. Go Riders, great show, Rod. And from Nelson Hakowich, Redbird Capital will be that investor. They are in the business of buying sports entities. They just invested in Fenway Sports and Entertainment Group and Liverpool FC. The CFL won't see those big of numbers, but this is no different. So are they selling themselves to the XFL? I believe they are. We'll get the Silver Fox's take when we come back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV across all 10 provinces in 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook. And listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Peterson Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Thursday morning coming down, or afternoon for those of you out on the East Coast. Just before a sports update from the Mental Health Hockey Podcast Network. You're going to recognize this name. He writes in on YouTube. He says, "Hey, Rod, love the show. Can't wait to have you on Hockey to Hell and Back. Thanks again for having me on the Recovery Hour." That is from one Brady Leovold, Swift Current Broncos, Kelowna Rockets alum. Hell of a story, that guy. Thanks for watching, Brady. Was he ever a pain in the butt with the Swift Current Broncos, eh?
Back in the day.
Just a little buzzsaw.
One thing that those guys always had and still do is those hard-working lunch bucket teams. Eh?
Saw it last night. I'm like, oh, no.
And it never mattered whether it was Todd McClelland or Dean Chenoweth or Dave, didn't matter who
Mark
was,
Lamb.
Right? Didn't matter who was coaching those teams. Even when Manny came in. Had tons and tons and tons of skill, but they didn't get away from that gritty work ethic. It's like a Broncos staple. They just need more talent now, that's all.
This has started. I talked about things that were going on with my old radio show. Remember when I used to scream into the microphone, "Don't call the text line"? Now they're calling from parts unknown all over. Please don't call the text line. You can text us. 306-840-8777. But if you call, I'm not going to answer it. Sports update, key game in the NHL's North Division tonight. The Edmonton Oilers host the Winnipeg Jets in a game featuring two teams near the top of the standings. The Oilers and Jets are tied for second, 2 points behind the front-running Toronto Maple Leafs. Carson Denemy scored twice, and Connor Bedard had a goal and an assist in the Regina Pats 3-2 win over Swift Current in the WHL's East Bubble on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Peyton Krebs scored in overtime in Winnipeg's 2-1 win over the Saskatoon Blades. Get ready for some March Madness. The NCAA men's basketball tournament begins tonight with 4 play-in games. The marquee matchup pits Michigan State against UCLA for the right to be a number 11 seed in the tournament. Gonzaga is the top-ranked team in the 68 squad field. We decided, or we were told yesterday, that Montana is not in the field, Kelly. That was always my rooting interest, the Montana Grizzlies. They didn't make it this year.
Damn.
The curling bubble is back in play today. The Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship begins with 5 draws in Calgary. It is the third of 7 events in the no-fan bubble. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. The Silver Fox, Kelly Remple, is here. For many, he's the favorite panelist we bring on here. Rems, let's walk it back 8 days to Randy Ambrosie dropping the bomb that the CFL and XFL have entered into talks for collaboration in the future. And then, quite frankly, walking away. He dropped the bomb. I'm out of here. You guys sort it out. Or have fun with it.
Yeah.
Which we have. What was your initial take?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I was pretty shocked, actually. But when you think about it, it's not a total surprise because you got both leagues that are in trouble, right? So I guess if there's an opportunity or a way to have conversation, dialogue, communication, whatever, put some heads together and try to figure out a way how we can help each other, I guess you'd be crazy not to look at it. I think that, you know, the Canadian Football League needs cash and they need marketing. The XFL needs cash and they need marketing.
Well, they need a strong brand and quality football.
Yeah, they do. I think the football there is better than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I've watched every game.
Yeah, I think those guys are pretty good players. The reality is, though, is it's pretty difficult. It's very difficult to get my head wrapped around the fact that every single time a competitor, they're not even competitors, let's not call them competitors, a second football league tries to start up after the NFL season, in our history, it never works, ever. And they know that. Dwayne Johnson knows that. You know, Rock. So I don't know what's going to come of it. I think it's a little more serious than a lot of people think, but that still doesn't mean that anything's actually going to happen out of it, Rod. But it's fun to talk about. And I have to laugh at what you just said. We're going to make this announcement. We're going to talk about it. Let's throw it out there. It's kind of like making the presentation to the House of Commons about like our... Okay, but every time you ask them a question about it, every single question, it's a deflect. Well, we don't know.
It didn't look good. It just didn't look good.
But, I mean, you know what? But then there's another little voice in my head, Rod, that says that if Dave Naylor would have broken a story that would have been the Canadian Football League is talking with Dwayne Johnson and the XFL, and they would have been asking questions about, you know, and they wouldn't have taken the initiative to bring it up. People would have crucified him because, well, what are you holding back from us? Why aren't you telling us these things? So he's kind of damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he doesn't say anything and people find out about it, they're going to say, well, why didn't you just from the beginning talk about it? But then when he does do that, but he really doesn't have anything to say, we make fun of him and laugh at him because he doesn't have anything, as usual, he doesn't have anything to say. So I don't know.
And I want to chime in. Well, one, pausing the discussion for a second. Viewer Trevor Lackness writes in. He says, Rod, I was disappointed how you said Bedard came back to earth in Game 2. He got 2 points and was still dominant. He's not going to have 20 great games. Trevor, I love you. I didn't say it. A scout said it. It wasn't Game 2. It was Game 3 against the Moose Jaw Warriors. He didn't have a good game. You watched it, didn't you? He was falling down all over the place. He came back down to earth. But the scouts said it. I agreed. You're disappointed in me? Get in line. There's a long list. Another thing, if the XFL takes over the CFL, Kelly, this is the one thing that you see it all the time. I think business of pro sports isn't a lot different at the CFL levels. major junior hockey levels, you know this for a fact. Team's going to be sold, and the old owner says to the new owners, okay, well, I'll sell you the team, but you need to keep this guy and you need to keep that guy. And the new owner goes, nope. I'm not going to say any more. It's happened with more than one team. You know what I'm saying? If the condition of the sale is you keep these people, and the new owner's like, no, it's my team. I'll do what I want. Mm-hmm. And I really think the CFL is really fighting giving anything away to the XFL in terms of equity because guys don't want to lose their jobs or their status or their role. Because if they allow The Rock in as an investor, he's not tiptoeing around. He's taken over the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it even goes deeper than that. You've got two games that are completely different games. And who's going to compromise on that? You know, all I keep hearing from Canadian Football League fans, right or wrong, is that, well, we don't want to give up our rules. We don't want to give up. And I'm not saying they should either. I'm just saying we don't want to give up 3-down football. We don't want to play on a smaller field. Okay, but then, so then really what you're saying is that the XFL, the only way we want to play ball with them is if they play by our rules. But that's not how negotiations work. You have to give something up. Now, what is that? So for us to speculate as to what kinds of conversations that Dwayne Johnson and Randy Ambrosie might be having. We have no idea,
but it's fun. But it's fun.
It's great to talk about, and it's accomplished that. Like I tweeted something to the effect of, no matter what comes out of this, even if nothing comes out of it, there's been more water cooler and buzz discussion about the CFL that day than there had been the previous 365 combined. So that's never a bad thing. But it's kind of like telling your family, oh, hey, honey, kids, we're moving. Oh, geez, where are we moving, Dad? No idea. How do you...
I bet that actually happens.
So how do you expect anybody in your family to get excited about that? Are we moving to downtown inner city Winnipeg, or are we moving to Vancouver Island?
We don't know.
You know?
What do? Laugh or cry?
The family, kids, we're moving to Dilk.
Well, at least we know where we're going. It's small market, but
you know, nothing wrong with Dilk.
Jeff, the Stampeders fan, home of Amber Holland. Jeff, the Stamps fan.
She's a Moose Jaw girl, Roddy.
Lumsden claims her. Dilk claims her. Moose Jaw claims her. Everybody wants a piece of her. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, seems unlikely the XFL would want all 9 teams, i.e. assuming Toronto has a team. Would they want one in Hamilton and or Ottawa? Why wouldn't they? They're established teams with stadiums, fan bases. Of course they would want the 9. Plus they'd want a 10th in Atlantic Canada. I'd like to see 10 teams in Canada, add the Schooners, the existing 8 in America, and 2 in Mexico. True Continental League. By the way, I want to read this, Kelly, from a viewer of ours in Seattle. A year ago, we told you that we had 1/3 of our viewers are American. It's now up to half. This guy's in Seattle. Rod, I am an American football fan. I became a Seattle Dragon season ticket holder for the XFL when XFL 2.0 began. Our crowds were always above 20,000 fans for our home games. I believe if it was not for COVID, the XFL would have been successful. I've been listening to some Canadian sports talk shows, and I'm confused by the attitude of the CFL fans. The CFL game attendance has been dropping every year, and owners are losing millions of dollars every year. But all I hear is don't change CFL rules, our field size, or anything else, because the CFL is important to us. If the CFL is so important, why are the fans not supporting? The 2019 Grey Cup had an average audience of 3.9 million viewers. The 2019 Super Bowl had 9.5 million Canadian viewers. That tells me the Canadian fans enjoy the American game more than the CFL game. History's important, but constantly saying the CFL rules and game are more precious than the NFL game is wrong, and that is according to Canadian community. He goes on to say more, but the key in there, he says, if the CFL is so important, why are the fans not supporting it? Not talking about the season ticket holders in every city. But as you know, Shad Ricky, he's probably watching right now in Brandon, Manitoba.
One of my favorite people in sports.
S.K. Riche said if you just add up the season ticket bases in the country, it's about 100,000 people, Canada-wide. Viewers, 600,000. And it's shrinking. That's what this guy's saying.
Well, let me tell you something that I think that I'm not going to surprise a single person, by the way. This is a Captain Obvious, but I experience it all the time. So I've coached in RMF, my son Spencer's football team, either as a head coach or an assistant for 7 years now. The players on those teams from the time he was in Mighty Mites football right up until now Bantam, they don't talk about CFL players. They don't talk about CFL teams. Never. They talk about Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady. They talk about their NFL groomed, okay?
Yep.
That's the problem, is it's not cool for kids to go to CFL games. Now, if it's like that in Regina, the mecca of CFL fandom, right? By far and away, the most NFL-like market in the country. I don't care who you are, you would have to be willing to concede that if there's one market in the whole Canadian Football League that's most like an NFL kind of euphoria type of market, it's Saskatchewan. But I'm here to tell you that the kids don't care about the CFL in this province. So if they don't care about it here, I damn sure guarantee you that in Montreal and Toronto and Vancouver, they don't even think about the CFL. And that is the problem.
It's scary. But you know what? They just don't want to acknowledge it. That's the key. They don't want to hear the truth. They want, we're great. CFL will last forever. It's great. They don't want to hear anything different.
You know, we could have a whole
tired of arguing about it.
We could have a whole discussion about this, and we don't have the time today. Maybe one day. Not that anybody really probably cares what my vision is, but I was thinking about this. You know the XFL and the CFL really need to climb into bed with? It's the NFL.
Yeah.
It's like a
but Goodell said go pee up a rope.
Whatever. But that's not acknowledging that. If you had a situation where, and I don't, again, we could talk about this for 5 hours, but quickly to try to make my point. If you had a situation where you had, and I'm going to make this up, Rod, but you got 7 CFL teams and 7 XFL teams, and you were somehow able to find a way to, some way, shape, or form, merge the leagues. How many NFL teams is there? 32. How many teams would that be? 16. So for every one of those 16 teams between the CFL and the XFL, one AFC and one NFC team adopted that team as like theirs.
Yeah.
And you somehow had some sort of a
marketing.
Marketing, but also a cooperation about players and development. And you sent some of your players there to develop. You would have an opportunity there to, let me put it to you this way. Let's say in the city of Vancouver, you knew that the BC Lions were essentially a farm team of the Seattle Seahawks, or in Toronto of the Buffalo Bills. Now you might have a chance of getting some of those kids interested. But how that model would look like, I don't know.
No, I know. But the Canadian football guys say, and that is your number one sport, that we have the tweeners. The CFL's built on players that didn't fit the NFL mold. So don't send us your prospects, because we have got Cody Fajardo's here for a reason. The biggest star in the province. But just
from Cameron Wake's career.
Right. Well, you can always name the rare few, right? I'm just giving you the argument that I get, because I've been saying that for a long time. That's just the backlash to that. From the viewers, from Donald Mitchell, he says there's more viewers for the Super Bowl because it's on free TV. The Grey Cup is on cable TV. Don, everybody has cable TV. There's not that many people sitting at a cabin watching a black and white TV with rabbit ears, okay? Everybody's got cable TV. That's my first thing to that. And two, yeah, but. You know, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I see many 20 to 30-somethings at Stampeders games. Don goes on to say, but Kelly, my time in Ottawa, the stadium was packed with young people. So what are you saying? There's no problem?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
There's no problem, I guess, and that's why the CFL's at the death's door begging people for money. Can you stay for one more segment, or you got to roll?
No, of course.
Okay, the Silver Fox has got him going today, which we knew that he would. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Peterson Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait. Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're getting somewhere, and we started our Football Friday early, is what I feel. But we had a lot of hockey in the front end of the show. This is a very passionate topic for people in Canada. The CFL-XFL proposed merger. Ailish Martins, watching on Facebook, says they're using the art of war tactics. Create the problem. Then once the victims are severely suffering, provide a solution that isn't as good as should be because the victims are desperate. Do you agree with that, Ryan? He does. Okay. You guys are reading from the same book. From Nelson Vo. He is our content creator here. Just started last week. He says, as someone who's been coaching football in Saskatoon for kids aged 13 to 14 for 6 years, I have heard the CFL mentioned exactly 0 times from these kids, even though most of their families are huge Rider fans. All they care about is the NFL and even college football before the CFL. Where did the rest of it go? They play the CFL rules their entire life, but they could care less about anything but the NFL. From Spencer Mackenzie Burridge, he's the producer of our Regina Pats television broadcast. He says, I agree with Kelly about becoming an NFL farm league. Look at Bedard, for example. Imagine the next NFL superstar starting out in Regina. I think a little bit of what you guys are all saying, I agree with you. I've been saying it for years, but what you don't understand is that people in the CFL are vehemently opposed to that.
They don't want it. That's really the point. My only point, I'm not even suggesting, Rod, that they should. I'm saying that if you could ever figure out a way to have a relationship with the NFL. I'm not saying let's go to 4-down football, smaller field. Let's become like the Diet Coke version of the NFL and let's change everything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that that's the company, frankly, that you need to get into bed with and get a relationship with. Because they've got an endless supply of money, most of these owners. And them, even if you could get a couple of teams, like let's say they're responsible. I'm making this stuff up, by the way. But let's say the only obligation in whatever the relationship was is they cover 50% of your payroll or your payroll. Jerry Jones contemplating $5 million, if he feels like he's getting value from whatever that relationship is, would be like you and I contemplating whether we want a side of ranch at lunch for the extra loony that it's going to cost. Okay, these are multi-billionaire owners, but you have to convince them that you're worth having a relationship with because they're going to say, okay, well, what's in it for us? Okay, well, if there's a way that we can help develop your players or we can enter into some kind of a relationship, but you're not, that doesn't mean that we open the relationship, but we dictate all the terms, Jerry. Jerry's going to say, so I'm writing you a big check every year and I get nothing out of it basically other than paying you. Sorry, not interested. Somewhere along the way, you have to be willing to change something. So the question becomes to CFL fans, and I'm making all this stuff up. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying.
You thought of this.
Yeah. But the point is that would you, at some point, you have to ask yourself, would we rather give something up and have football to watch, or we give nothing up and we have no football up here to watch?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I know, Kelly, from two sources, though. Two good CFL sources. I'm not necessarily saying trusted sources, but they've told me the plan is here. We're going to collaborate with the XFL, tap into the Rock, all that he brings, but nothing in the CFL will change. Which is kind of what you're saying. We're not giving up anything.
Correct.
But we're going to benefit from this relationship with the Rock. And I'm like, guys, it doesn't work. It's not going to work that way. I get that they think that it will. I don't see it going down that road. Armando Moreno, he's our Mexican correspondent. He's a Mexico City reporter down there. He says trying to compete with the NFL monster is just not the smart way to go. It's on 3downnation.com right now. Actually, Randy Ambrosi said it on this show that he met with Roger Goodell. And Goodell said, listen, no, you need to be a self-sustaining entity yourself, the Canadian Football League. It sounded like Randy approached the NFL, and they said, we're not interested. So there was that. They tried, and the NFL said no. But there are a lot of people in this country, and I think it's a football thing versus a hockey thing, that they want to fight with the NFL. And I'm like, I'm out. From what I hear, NFL Canada is its own entity. It has nothing to do with Football Canada at all. They're enemies. It's a football thing. Because be honest, you know it. The NHL, AHL, ECHL, WHL, Junior A all work together by and large. Their rules are all the same. Mm-hmm. Players go up and down at will within those leagues.
And I don't know, but see, here's the thing, Rod. I don't know what that model would look like. That would have to come from people a lot smarter than me that are way higher up the food chain in the NFL and the CFL to figure out what that partnership. That's really what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about the NFL buying the CFL and now we're going to turn it into whatever we want. I'm saying a relationship, a partnership, a merger of some kind where there could be an injection of cash from the NFL to the CFL that would help the CFL.
That's not happening.
No, it isn't. But that's the only, my point is, Rod, it's the only marriage that can, I don't see The Rock buying the CFL.
Why not?
He's not going to buy the CFL.
Why not?
Why would he?
Because he's got the money and he loves football. Why did he buy the XFL?
Well, so he's going to double dip now and buy both leagues.
He can have them for nothing. Kelly, you're a businessman. Buy low.
Okay, so then let's see who's right when it's all said and done. I don't believe Dwayne Johnson is buying the CFL. You do?
I think it will end up that way.
Okay, I disagree.
Why would they even talk or approach Redbird Capital or The Rock at all?
They're trying to come up with that partnership, that magic formula that they can come up with some sort of relationship that's going to save everybody.
Does this come with pixie dust and unicorns?
They better hope so. They better hope so, because I don't think pixie dust is going to fix this problem. I don't know every time they ask the commissioner, okay, well, what can you just give us a hint of what might be something that you might be looking at to do? Well, we're not there yet. So how could you or I or anybody else sink our teeth really into this whole thing if they can't even tell us at this point what those conversations have been about?
Well, it's been genius by Randy Ambrosie to drop this bomb. You got to think he's tickled to see all the reaction across the country, but I don't think he did it for nothing. I stir things up for fun. I don't think Randy Ambrosie stirs things up for fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think there's more to this. For sure. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, Rod's right. The Rock won't give us something for nothing, but there is still middle ground without completely giving ourselves to the XFL. And that's fair, but I'll say it again. What's in it for the XFL? The CFL wants to tap into all that The Rock can give them, but they don't want to give anything up. Life doesn't work that way, and you know that. But you know what? The CFL, that's why they're in the bind that they're in, because they are just so allergic to change and innovation. That's what's got them where they are. And they still don't want to change because they're saying they don't want to change. Nothing will change. We're just going to use The Rock, but nothing will change.
Well, they didn't even say that. It's a pipe dream. They didn't even say that.
That's what it's been said to me.
They wouldn't even give an answer on that.
No, they haven't said that publicly, but that's what I've got. Okay?
Yeah, what I took out of the whole thing with Randy was just very simply that both leagues have identified that they have problems and challenges ahead. We're trying to figure out a way that we could come up with some kind of partnership of some kind to try to help, to try to make it work that everybody can benefit. But every time he was asked what that could, just give us.
Didn't want to say.
Give us
he says
something.
He didn't know.
Nothing.
Well, what's the point of collaborating if you don't merge? What's the point?
Maybe there will be a merger, but
You don't think there will be, though?
Well, I don't think The Rock is going to buy the CFL. That's what I'm saying.
Cool.
But maybe he will. Maybe I'll be wrong, and I'll come on this show and say, remember that time you said The Rock was going to buy the CFL, and I said he won't? Well, you were right, Rod.
Yeah.
That could happen, too.
Rem's always good to see you.
Take care.
We'll be back with Overtime. It's the RP Show, Game Plus TV Network, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150, Explorer, or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say. And I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
I got here nice and early today.
I did not.
Moose showed up 12 minutes before the show. So we got all of our meeting in just before the show, and I didn't get my sports on tap written down for the tap brew house and drive-through liquor store. So here's what's on the NHL tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. It's another night of insanity with your remote control melting. In the Western Hockey League, the Portland Winterhawks and Tri-City Americans open up their season at the Toyota Center in Tri-City. Are they still calling it that?
Good question.
They were when I was going there in Kennewick, Washington. Love that facility, by the way. The Winnipeg Ice take on the Moose Jaw Warriors in the Hub Bubble, the double. And it's Swift Current versus Brandon tonight. And then I stop writing there. I'll give you another score update right now. Nationals Mets tied 1-1, middle of the third in spring training baseball. What are the Blue Jays doing? I think they're off today. They are. The Raptors lost their 6th in a row. Again, I can't steal this. I'm going to credit Rod Black. It's not March Madness. It's March Sadness for the Toronto Raptors. That is such a Blackieism.
It is. I know.
So anyways, that's what's on tap today in sports for the Tab Brewhouse and Liquor Store. Open for dine-in or pickup. The liquor store drive-thru is open. Plus, you may also shop inside. Please follow social distancing guidelines and help everyone stay safe. I might add this. They serve Vern's Pizza. That thick, the pizza slices. It's the pizza that eats like a meal.
So good.
And if you don't have access now, Access Communications is your cable carrier, and you want to watch these Regina Pats broadcast that Moose and I are broadcasting and watch Connor Bedard, the Holy Child, go down to Ballers, watch it on their big screens, or go down to the Four Seasons Sports Palace, two wonderful partners of this wonderful program. Haven't seen you for a while, Dupes. What's up?
Nothing, actually. No, nothing.
I don't believe that for one second.
There's lots going on always, but no, we're having a good day. We're having a really good week. Things are going well.
Lynch here yet?
Not yet.
He's coming to take
I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Listen, for those of you people that don't watch the show digitally every day, let's put it this way. On Access Television, which airs in, 300 communities or something?
A lot.
Yeah. We do a Best of the Week episode that airs Saturdays and Sundays at noon. And it's primarily focused on the rectangle of Saskatchewan. That's the sports talk. So John Frenzy has said, how do I get on that show? Because that's the cable that he has at home, right? He wants to see himself on television. So I said, Lynch, we tape it Thursdays right after the normal show that you're watching right now, Thursday afternoon. So he's showing up here. I'm shocked he isn't here yet.
I know. Things work out. That's awesome.
He'll be here.
That's awesome.
We haven't put our heads together yet, Clark and I, on what the show's going to be made up yet for this weekend's best of. We'll figure it out. Micah Awe. Micah, what do you got to say? Micah Awe, linebacker for the Ottawa Red Blacks, writes in and says, I got so much I want to say. We used to call that teasing when I was your age. Now they call it trolling, I think. Say it. Okay, Micah. Clark says he's got a spot open for you on the program tomorrow. Micah Awe, I got so much I want to say. Now we're out of time. You guys drop all this now? We got a minute to go. I got a lot of people saying to me in the media, there's a story coming out with The Athletic on digital shows, and ours is a big part of it. And people say, Rod, why has the show been so popular? I said, because the players realized about a week into us launching a year and a half ago that this is a show that they can come on and feel safe and not be attacked and say their piece and get things off their chest. And for that matter, coaches too, like Mike Babcock, right, or whomever, Dupes.
Yeah.
So the players know this is the show that they want to be on. It's nothing that I did, believe me, but they sniffed it out real fast.
Yeah.
From Brady Leovold, Mental Health Hockey Podcast Network. Awesome show, man, as always. Thanks, Brady. We're on the same team finally, and it feels good. I know we're somewhere out of it. Some guy was ripping me for being like Manitobans, and he's from Manitoba. Hey, I'll take that as a compliment. What do we got tomorrow? We got Craig Smith, maybe Micah Awe, and John Frenzy. Join us at noon Eastern or 10 a.m. Mountain. It's the same time for Flame Tech Football Friday right here on Game Plus. I never told you to shut up. Well, a couple times. Yeah.